Hello, hello. We are back. Now, this is a little bit of an update for the 2022 Barkley Marathons. Checking back in. We're now 5 hours, 45 minutes from the start of the race, and I saw a tweet update that the leaders have come through the fire tower area. It's someone that I follow that is potentially saying, let's see here. So 8 minutes ago, a two-time UTMB winner and previous Barkley finisher are through the tower together. Interesting. So that would mean Courtney and John Kelly are potentially the first through. And then we've got a Biggs winner and 2019 fourth looper through. Then first timer Spain in first. I don't know. This is very preliminary information, but I wanted to go live. And as it does sound like the first runners are through the fire tower in around 5 hours, 40 minutes. So let's see if we can refresh this and see if anything comes across. So as you guys may or may not know, the Barkley Marathons did start today, Tuesday, March 8th at 7:54 local time in Tennessee. I'm going to be doing these periodic video updates, so if you want to be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on for when I do these, trying to go live on significant moments, and this seems like a pretty significant one. It sounds like there are people at the fire tower and the runners are going through there. So we will try and see. This is where I first saw something. So Samuel Hartman, this was retweeted by Keith Dunn, who is the formative purveyor of information from the Barkley, retweeted this, so I figure it's fair game to share. So Samuel Hartman says, all quiet on the Western Front, 4:45 in, up. That is a picture looking at Rat Jaw, which is a climb near the fire tower. We've got some people in the chat. If you want to join in, let me know if you have any questions. We'll probably be live for maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour here as folks roll through, and maybe we can get some imagery to share with you all. Of course, it was a bit of a shock that the race is happening today. It's earlier than it's ever been, taking place here on a Tuesday. But we do have people tuning in from, it looks like, Sweden. Greetings. And also looks like Brazil. We got some fans of Enrico Frigeri, the first Brazilian in Barkley. And do we have a notion to the actual length of the course? According to Laz, it would be 20 miles exactly. And how far into the race is the fire tower? Well, I don't know this year's course, so we can only speculate, but it should be over the halfway point in the loop in a given normal year that it's been the last few years. So I would say it will take them less time from here to get back to camp as long as the course is similar in nature to before. But, you know, I guess the good news is they have made it around thus far, in pretty good time. I was trying to look up last year, and I think I found a tweet from Keith Dunn that said, actually, I'll try to look it up right now. It'll give me something to do. At Keith Dunn and Fire Tower. So in 2021, 7 hours for the front runners to get to the fire tower. So granted, last year was a night start and the course was saturated with water, but we're talking about an hour and 20 minutes faster than last year's leaders. So that is a good sign for those athletes. And if we look at last year's times on Loop 1, 10:21. So I would say they are at least an hour 20 minutes faster than last year through this point, pending the course is the same. So 9 hours is probably the upper limit, I would say, of what a loop one time will be, and I think it could be 8:30. So it's kind of in line with what we were talking about in our first stream this morning as we were kicking things off. Let's see here. We got some other people from Wisconsin, from Austin, Germany in the house. Wisconsin. Shout out to Arizona. All right. Let's see here. Keith tweeted that the first runner was out around the 3-hour mark. I do remember that. I don't know that they stated who it was, so that is still a little bit of a mystery. But if we go back as a little bit of a history, we of course had the cigarette lit. Here it is. 3 hours into the race, we've had our first drop. I don't know how they got word of the drop, but it said, we don't know yet. We'll find out when they return to camp. So they somehow got some information that someone dropped, but yet didn't make it back to camp. So I haven't seen any official word from Keith in terms of who might be up at the top, but someone I follow who is private on Twitter is sharing some of this information, so they must be out there. But from what they're saying, we have a 2-time UTMB winner and a previous Barkley finisher through the tower together, which would tell me by process of elimination, Courtney and John Kelly are running together, which I think is a really great sign. And hopefully they can work together, continuing to strengthen Courtney's knowledge of the course and see if we can get our first women's finisher this year. We also have a Bigs winner, which I'm guessing might be Guillaume, and then a 2019 fourth looper, which would be Carl. And that's all I have so far. So we're kind of just waiting to see if there's going to be any more information come across. There looks like there was someone else who was at the fire tower. Samuel Hartman. This is the image from about an hour ago. Up at the top of Ratjaw, you can see from here that it is a nice looking day, nice and dry. It looks like from this photo at least, nice and clear. There's no fog rolling in or anything right now. That's got to feel really nice for the runners out there. Seems like a great sunny, not too hot of a day, so a great way to kick things off. But as we were looking earlier, there might be some weather later. Someone is talking about poor Pete last year. Yeah, we did have Pete Mortimer had an unfortunate instance where he forgot his race bib in camp. Never looked at his number from when he picked it up, so I didn't know what page to rip out. He had to turn back. Oh yeah, Harvey won Bigs, duh. So Harvey is probably up there as well. My apologies. How could I forget? Bigs winner could be Harvey. Yep. Carl, also a big one. So we've got someone saying here in the chat that Courtney, Carl, John, and 2 others were at the tower together. I'm not sure where you're getting that information, but maybe if you guys have any other ideas on what I could pull up. I could also, I think I could go back to maybe Facebook. There was this group. I finally got onto the to this group here, Into the Barkley. We'll try and refresh this one. And we'll see here. Oh, it looks like we got, oh, wow, look at this. There's some great stuff here. So at 1:15 p.m., going to the lookout tower, John, Courtney, Carl, 2 others. So let's take a look at these photos. Try and make those larger. All right. So there they are. Carl, Courtney, John. Can't quite see who these others are. We'll see if we can take a look. There's someone in the purple shirt there. There, of course, is the bench, the table, the water jugs. They're all in short sleeves. It's looking like John's got some mud on his dried mud on his butt. Courtney is there as well. That's a really grainy photo, but you've got Courtney there clearly. Looks like she's sporting that Barkley Watch. You got Howie Stern in the background, but you got John Kelly, Courtney DeWalter right there. And there's that crew coming up. So there is a first look at your fire tower folks, the lead pack. I believe we looked at that earlier. That was the conch shell. Here's some other photos from the morning that got posted. So we got Guillaume, some other folks here. There's Laz. You've got Frozen Ed right by the gate there. And there they head out. So that was just under 6 hours ago. You can see the crew leaving the camp there. All smiles at that point in time. So we will check back there, but that is our initial update. Thank you for sharing that link earlier. Asking if the Brazilian is with them. I'm not sure. Looks like the weather is good so far. I would agree with that statement. So let's see. Keith Dunn is probably out of the loop in terms of what's happening over on the fire tower. So thankfully we have some other places to go. I will leave maybe some of these images up there. So that is a quick look at some of your leaders. Maybe we'll see some more being posted here shortly. What is a Barkley Watch? So it is the watch that's provided by the race. So you can't bring your own GPS watch. They're not permitted. They don't want you to have GPS or any sort of advanced features, really. So they provide you with a brand new watch, and it's set to Barkley time. So it's right now their watch is going to read 5:57:42 because that is when they started. It started at midnight Barkley time, which would be 7:54 a.m. So yeah, it's basically, Christopher Murphy has it right here in the chat. It's an $8 watch that Laz supplies. Question, is Courtney participating? Yes, she is. She is with this lead group in the red shirt there. So there she is. Question, am I sporting a Coros? Yes, I do have Coros Vertix 2 watch. I've been using it. It's really great. The battery life is incredible. And yeah, I've had it since about December. I've been running in this one, which has been nice. So yeah, they have to use a normal non-GPS watch from Walmart, as you can see kind of right there. We had a pretty good... a better image earlier. I'm trying to remember who that was from. Let's see. I can get a better image of it for you to check out. Yeah, Alex Hull posted this. Oh, look at this. We got some imagery here. We'll take a look at these. So this was from, here we go. This is a good picture of the watch. So this year's watch right there. You can see this one's a solar watch, actually, which is kind of cool. $8.88 from Walmart. And you can see this was set 23:04, so this was about 55 minutes before the race started from earlier in the day. But let's take a look. Alex Hull here has got some good content. So let's go ahead and watch this video.
Hi, hello everybody. Shinder TV, live from Barkley Marathons 2022. Uh, I'm here in Frozen Head State Park, Tennessee. You have seen this morning my live video 7:54 was start, and now I'm on my way to the fire tower on Frozen Head Mountain. The runners expected time for the runners to be there would be around 5 hours after the start. That means 1 o'clock. Now we have 11 something. So yeah, I have now a 1.5 hour hike tour around. I guess maybe I can make it in 1 hour. The way is easy. I drove up to 650 meters. Now it's another 350. The mountain. Hi. For us, it's an easy hike.
So that was just a quick look. One of the looks like crews going up there. That was just like on one of the park trails. So I think someone here says, how could he have his phone? That was not a runner. That was just someone else who's out there. Let's see. Is Gary Robbins running this year? No, he is not. Let's see here. We got a picture of the here's a good update. Here's the update that we all want. We got Keith here. They've got tandoori chicken and samosas, non-bread by I'm a Runner. So they are sharing some interesting stuff here at camp that is going on. Oh, my volume needs to be up a little bit more. Sorry about that. Yeah, we could certainly slightly raise that. Gary Robbins is not running this year. He is at home with his family. Jasmine Paris is running the race this year. Let's see what else. Any interesting stories about being in the section of the race the leaders are in? I mean, I've been on Rat Jaw before. It's also part of the Barkley Fall Classic. And it is in the Barkley Fall Classic, it is like overgrown. There's like briars are huge. They're like up over your head. I haven't done that race. But in the springtime, they are typically like mowed or cut down. I didn't see, I guess I could look a little closer to this. It looks like they might not be cut this year. You can see they're all pretty tall. It is earlier than normal. Normally they cut them down in like the week or two before the race, but maybe they didn't get to it this year because it's earlier. So you can see right there, there's like a path, a little bit of a trail almost through there. But yeah, that is just a quick look there. So yeah, this is pretty much, for those of you tuning in, we're just talking about a little bit of an update here about 6 hours in. The lead pack, it looked like about 5 runners in a lead pack up at the fire tower, which is the top of Frozen Head State Park. And they got up there in around 5 hours, 40 minutes, we're thinking, from our best guesses, which is an hour, 20 minutes faster than last year's course. So we don't know what this year's course is. So we're kind of just speculating how, we don't know if that's an identical route to compare with or not. So just anyone's guess is there. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. I know it's hard to get information on this race. I think that's part of the magic of it and the fun of it, is that there's kind of a big mystery gap and there's just little snippets of information that kind of get leaked out there, which is kind of cool. But yeah, we do have a question here. Why aren't you running this year? Have just some things going on here at home that I needed to be here for, so I wasn't able to make the trip out this year. I withdrew about a week ago from the event. Yeah, no worries. I was training for this year. I was intending to go as of about a week ago and had to give up my spot for this year. So who's in the front pack? There were a couple images posted, which I think are okay to share as far as I understand it. We did have... So Alex Hull, who is a crew, it looks like he does have some instructions. It sounds like he shared here. Sorry. The fire tower is the only spot on the course where spectator creators are allowed. He says, I cannot film everything as soon as the runners show up. So I guess we can probably put this video on since it's just a look at the fire tower.
Barkley Marathons, Frozen Head State Park, fire tower. So I bring you upstairs.
So this is a look at the top of the park. See, it's a nice sunny day out there right now. Some clouds in the distance.
Okay, this is the highest point in Frozen Head State Park. Yeah, during summertime from here they can watch fires, smoke, whatever. So I show you around.
They're saying this is maybe the German Gary Robbins, possibly.
That radio antenna right there. So, yeah, they're gonna go down Red Jaw. So we're gonna come up here somewhere, grab our stuff, head on down.
Yep.
All the way down. This looks like.
So now you have seen a round view, and now that was the way where I
Describing the way
hiked
that
up,
he came up on the, there's like a road that goes
and
up there.
that's the way the runners come up. It's called Red Jaw. Right? Red Jaw it's called.
Yeah, Red
Yeah,
Jaw.
Red Jaw, yeah,
Red
yeah.
Jaw.
So,
Is named that because on a map, when they first drew it in 1988, they drew the outline and it looked like the jaw of a rat on a piece of paper. So they
okay,
called it Red Jaw.
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks to explain to my audience.
No
Great,
problem.
thanks.
So yeah, there is a bit of service up at the top of the peak. That's
So-
like one of the only parts of the course that has any sort of phone service, and the only spot that
That's-
spectators are
it will
allowed.
be bloody.
Crew, basically,
will
not
be
even
really
spectators.
bloody.
So. And of course, he's filming this before any of the runners are coming up.
So they go up from the prison. And that climb is called the Bad Thing.
We go down, and I come with me together, and we go down, and we have a look at Red Jaw.
Now he's heading
Some
back
rangers
down.
here.
I have no
They
idea how long this
came
video is, by the
with
way.
the
I'm
car.
just playing it for the first time here.
Bring the water.
Seems like everybody agrees that the illness is less serious.
Do you have a question? Would the course be even worse in the summer, like getting overgrown? I think it would be way worse. I don't think you could even do the race. I think there's like poison oak and ivy, and the briars get crazy.
That's the famous 8 stations from Lazarus. Everything what you need. Water. That's it.
So it looks like you got the
Nothing
park
else?
up there. You've got the water drop.
On a loop of 40 kilometers, 25 miles. The people guess, nobody knows. But everybody know it's not 20 miles, definitely. So round about 25 miles, 40 kilometers, and you get a sip of water. And here they come up. That's red jaw.
All right. So there, that is
You have seen
a little bit of that video there from Alex Hole, and we'll go ahead and maybe go back and check, see if there's any more updates about this, the samosas and the naan bread from Keith Dunn back in camp. So, of course, they may not have much information being in the campsite area as to what's going on at the fire tower. Oh, wow, look at this. So here is the timing scorecard, it looks like. Oh, this is for it's for just one of the runners in their camp, it looks like. So they're really keeping track there of the different times. You got loop 1, of course, has 2 different cutoff times that the runners need to keep in mind. There's a 12-hour cutoff, which is, and they've even got the times laid out there to keep track so that they're kind of right on schedule. But 12 hours is going to be the 5-loop full cutoff. So 12 hours per loop for 5 loops is 60 hours. And then you've got the fun run cutoff is 40 hours to be considered. So you have to finish the 3 loops in under 36 to continue on to 4, and then under 48 to continue on to 5. Now, if you just want to go after that fun run, which is the 3 loop, you have to do it in 13:20, then 26:40, and then 40 hours. So that's like a quick little look at that. Oh, interesting. So Alex Hole makes many ultra running events in Germany. Ostala Ultra ran at 2 of them. A good guy. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the info from the Facebook, there was like a Facebook group about the Barkley, about the leading pack of 5 people. So hopefully it's okay that we're showing that. So I completed the loop so fast that I'm able to do a live session from my tent. Yeah. Unfortunately, I am not out there this year. I'm very sad about that fact. But we're just trying to bring a little bit of color commentary to this year's Barkley. As you all know, it's hard to get much information. We're probably every 5 or 6 hours we'll get some little hint of info. There's basically Keith Dunn from Twitter. It looks like there's a couple other guys. There's obviously a couple photographers out there. Howie Stern posts some great stuff. We might actually head over to Howie's Instagram to see if there's any updates there. And there might even be an update from some runners' social media pages. So we'll see. Let's see what else is going on here. So no more updates from Samuel Hartman, but I think he might have been the one in that video. So maybe they've tried to keep the amount of information flowing pretty minimal. So we'll try and respect that as much as we can. But we did see that there was a pack of 5 that was through the fire tower in around 5:40. So yeah, here we go. Interesting. I never realized there was separate cutoffs other than the 3-loop one. I'd always thought that the first 2 loops were the same overall, and you couldn't make the 36. Yeah, so there are intermediate ones. So if you haven't headed out on loop 2 in 1320, you are not allowed to continue, and the same goes with a loop 2 cutoff. So it's designed to get that 40-hour loop 3 cutoff. And then, of course, you have to, so you can still, like if you were over 12 hours, but under 1320, for that first loop, let's say you did it in 12 and a half, you could still continue. And if you're able to cut that back down under 36 hours before loop 4, you could continue on. So you can kind of make that time back up. You're not automatically disqualified for the 5 loop as far as I understand it. Any big names running this year? From the photos we've seen and people that are in the know, it looks like there's, yeah, of course, Courtney DeWalter, John Kelly, they were both, and Carl Saab were in that first group. You've got Harvey Lewis, Guillaume Calmette. Jasmine Paris is out there, another really strong woman runner this year. So for the lead pack of 5 at the Fire Tower, roughly 5 hours. That was actually 5:40, so closer to 6. What sort of pace are they running? Okay, so it's tough to say because we don't know the course, but last year the leaders were through in 7 hours, and they didn't come to camp until 10:20. So you would subtract an hour 20 off that, and we're looking at 9 hours or faster is what we're going to see for loop 1. So could be 8.5, could be 9 hours. We got Chris Warden in the chat here. Normally Barkley seems to line up with the classic Crown King Scramble. Does that mean I will be running Crown King? I don't know. I don't have any races on my calendar right now. We'll just see what the coach says about how all that goes. We got someone saying this sure beats refreshing Twitter. I mean, you're basically watching me refresh Twitter. That's about it. Oh, man. Let's see. Hard Rock. I'm not running Hard Rock this year. I didn't get into Hard Rock. Has there ever been a female finisher? No, there hasn't been yet. But I think this could be a good year. This could be a real good year for that. I have a good feeling about it. The factor that we need to kind of think about is what happens tonight. So the interesting thing about this race is it might be nice and warm and sunny in the day. Like last year, it was pretty kind of hot in the afternoon, especially as we were coming into camp. But when we headed back out, we had some crazy storms blowing in, and the base of where camp is a lot lower in elevation than where the tops of these peaks are. Like we saw Frozen Head there is a lot higher up, a couple thousand feet higher. So yeah, they got to be prepared. You got to carry everything you can with you. You can't be resupplied on the route. So we obviously have to switch over to Wartburg, Tennessee, and it's pretty similar temperatures to Phoenix, which is funny. So let's look at our hourly forecast here. Right now in Tennessee, it's 3 p.m. Perfect out. Just maybe a couple clouds here and there. But as you can see, we switch. Basically, as soon as the sun sets, we're going to switch up to an 85% chance of rain all night long. Oh, look at that go. Whew. That is not even a question. All the way up until sunrise, you've got an 86% chance. And that's 40 degrees in Wartburg, which is outside the park boundary, a couple thousand feet below. So could we see snow up high, up on Frozen Head? I would say likely. They are going to have off and on 11 to 12 hours, probably 12 hours of rain tonight, off and on. Multiple storms moving through. And I think that's going to be the interesting factor. So what's going to happen when darkness sets? So we're probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours away from the leaders coming into camp. So that'll be around 5:30 p.m. Sunsets at 6:40. So they're going to have an hour to an hour and a half before sunset of light to get back out on loop 2. We don't know yet which direction loop 2 will be in. Loop 1 was in clockwise direction. It has he's done many different things over the years, so that'll be an interesting factor to see what happens. Why did he change the course? He changes the course pretty much every year to keep it fresh, keep it challenging, keep it unknown. We got no female finishers yet. That's a fact. International Women's Day happens to coincide with the start of the Barkley. That could be a sign this year. We got Kurt Steege says tonight and tomorrow are going to be sloppy and cold. How many books are there? It depends on the year, anywhere from 10 to 14 books per year. I forget, we might have had 12 or 13 last year. And yep, Jerome says it here. We got some brutal weather in the forecast. So let's, I'm going to pull up the radar. Let's see what's happening out here. We've got, there's some stuff down in, is that Georgia due south? North Carolina, it's kind of moving through a little bit. Yep, you can see it down there, Huntsville. Yeah, we got Georgia due south, so there it is. You can see it's kind of forming. Oh yeah, over in Mississippi there, look at that big one. That's the one that's coming in. So you can see, oh goodness, let's just go out more. All right. So they are kind of over here near Jefferson City, eastern Tennessee, and that is incoming right there. Heavy rains heading straight for Frozen Head. That is pretty typical of this race. How did I originally learn of the Barkley? So I got into the sport in 2005 and started running hard rock, and that's kind of getting to know the hard rock guys. It's a lot of the same folks. It's like Barkley hard rock. It's a lot of the same kind of characters. And so learned about it and was instantly enamored by it and wanted to do it. Hey folks, Keith said they had a drop already. Yeah, he tweeted about that like 3 hours in. We didn't see who it was. He hasn't shared anything about that. And yeah, they said we have to wait for them to get back to camp. So I don't know how they got word of the drop. I really honestly have no idea. Like, was there a hiker that came in and told them? Because there shouldn't be anyone out there part of the race just being on course. And certainly if another runner came back to tell, then they would be the drop themselves. So who knows? Have I heard of the Barkley Marathon UK? Have not. How often do otherwise strong runners get tripped up by the navigation challenges? I would say it's fairly common for almost every runner to at some point during the course of their Barkley experience encounter some sort of navigational issue. Sometimes it could be quite severe. So if you look, Frozen Head is about in the upper right-hand corner near that Jefferson City approximately. So you can see here the weather radar. The very end of that is around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be in about a half hour. So the clouds are building, the storms are moving across the south, and we are, as we saw earlier, expecting a full night of rain. And what I was going to say with the navigation is that brings in some major fog, major chances of fog that are happening for the event. So, and that to me, the night, in the rain, in the fog is very, very challenging. And if you're not prepared with your layers and your waterproof stuff, it can spell trouble for you. You can become disoriented. You start not believing your compass. Lots of issues. And I think it'll help them that it's relatively early in the race and they got potentially a full night's sleep. They have a full loop done in the day, and then they're heading into that night. But man, I'm just getting flashbacks of exactly what that's like, of heading back into the dark, into the night, as you're hearing thunder and lightning, and the wind is kicking up, and I think we could see a chance of snow as well up at the highest reaches, being so early in the year. So we'll kind of see what happens. Is Rat Jaw the worst climb on the course? I would say no, although it is pretty tough. There are worse ones. Let's see. One called the Meat Grinder was a new addition in 2019 that was particularly brutal. Keith, it might have been a troll. Keith might just be misdirecting all of us with his comment about the dropped runner. There's the Barkley Marathons of the UK is a similar format, but not quite as long. So that's interesting. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one right here. So, accept respect and courtesy. What prevents reporters, enthusiasts, thrill seekers not trespassing and streaming the event and spilling its secrets? So this kind of happened last year. There was someone who came out to the course and outside of the context of Laz and the race, posted some images on areas that media is not allowed to go, and it caused a bit of an issue last year. So, but I would say number one, it is respect and courtesy is the thing that guides that for the most part. But it can threaten the continued success of the race. So it's pretty important to respect all those things. John Gauss, how are the 2022 Cocodona signups come along? Pretty good. We've got around 245 people signed up for this year's race. We're, of course, about 2 months out, so hopefully we'll get maybe 30 more people maybe to join in on the fun. But yeah, we had 176 starters last year, so hopefully we'll maybe get another maybe 50 more people this year to start the race. But yeah, I would say if there are journalists or media interested in covering the event, there are ways to do it. I would say first off, reach out to Laz. His email address is publicly available through. He's an organizer of multiple races. So I would say, if you are a journalist, you want to cover the race in some capacity, he does allow media credentials each year. There's multiple people out there this year. Speaking of, let's go see. I'm going to go to Instagram. Oh, yeah, you can't. There's no Instagram app. Keep forgetting that. Okay. So Howie Stern is, of course, out there. He's probably at the fire tower, but there were some cool images from earlier in the day that we were sharing. Laz lighting the cigarette. We got Jasmine Paris, Carl Saab, Guillaume Calmette. Got John Kelly. Courtney DeWalter, Harvey Lewis, Tomo. There's the cigarette with the list of names of Barkley, past Barkley people that have passed on. And here's John Kelly and Frozen Ed. Who else? John Kelly, there was a quick update from him earlier. Let's see if we got anything from Courtney. And Alexis Berg is also out there. He's made a Barkley film and a book. He had some cool photos. Oh, where is it? Alexis Berg. So here's a picture of Laz with the Finisher's Barkley book. I ordered this, so I'm hoping to get it soon. It sounds like some of you out there did get the book. Looks pretty nice. And here is some images, beautiful photography here from Alexis. You got people copying the map, trying to wrap their head around what they are about to face. I'm not sure which runner this is. If anyone out there knows, maybe let me know. You've got Guillaume here. And there's Laz having some fun out there. So let's see here. Oh. Why can't I find this group? It's like a hidden group. There we go. So those were some, there's a couple photos posted by Phil. Hopefully it's okay to share these. Just a couple photos of them up near the top there. So that was the lead pack earlier. And anyways, I think I'm not meaning to ignore you guys in the chat. I apologize. Let's see if there's anything else. Nothing else from Keith Dunn. Oh, there we go. Keith Dunn says, cell coverage is poor, but if I'm reading my text correctly, a group of 4 or 5 runners has reached the tower. Oh, and here is, oh, that's interesting. So Guillaume, here's a picture on Twitter of Guillaume. About 30 minutes behind that lead pack. He might have some ripped shorts there, which is not surprising. He is in the Solomon Red kit. I'm trying to see what kind of shoes he's wearing. I mean, I know they're Solomon's. I'm not sure exactly which model he's in. He had some prototypes a couple years ago, and he is right in France, so he might have something special. We got some more people up at the fire tower there. So there's some people are talking about it's going to get worse when 3G is shut off. So let's see here in the chat. How do I sign up for Cocodona? Go to cocodona.com and you can either mail in your entry or you can sign up online. Let's see. Trent, has there ever been debate about canceling due to lightning or safety? Any pressure on Laz? So I would say not really. I don't think they've ever canceled due to weather. The runners themselves have self-determined and self-extracted at this race. I think they have a pretty good record of that. And some years there is like a high water route. So the New River is gets notoriously high when there's a lot of rain. It can flood and become unsafe to cross, and you have to cross that typically at least once in the race, sometimes more than once in a given loop. And so I remember there was I think one year Blake Wood was on loop 4, maybe loop 5, and it was raining all night. He got down there and he's like, it would be suicide to try and cross this thing. So he had to turn around and find another way to bail back at camp, and his race was over. I remember a few years ago you did some training here with a few folks. How close are the trails there to what you experienced in the race? So you can go, there's a lot of great trails that are in Frozen Head State Park and kind of dirt roads leading up to the fire tower and kind of around the mountain range. And those are open to the public, so you can train on them. I think just within daylight hours, they don't let you be out there after dark. Um, some of those trails are on at least the previous Barkley courses. I'm not sure what the course is this year, but I would say stop in the visitor center. You can get a map from them. It's if you buy the paper map, it's like $3. It's the same map that all of us use during the race. It's the same map that Laz will draw the course on, and yeah, you can run up to the fire tower. You can run on the North Boundary Trail. You can run on South Old Mac Trail. There's a lot of parts of the course that you can run on. Is there a limit on the number of Cocodona entrants? We have up to 400 entrants, so we're not in any danger this year of selling out. But in the future, I would imagine that we will fill to capacity at some point a couple years from now. Jamil, any chance you'd come to up north to complete one of Jody Eisener's ultras? I know Jody. I don't know which events he puts on, but that sounds like something I should definitely check out. Was Laz a runner in his youth? I just don't understand how we turned to cigarettes if he was. He was a big-time ultra runner. He's been running ultras since the 70s and journey running and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know where the cigarette thing came from, but it's just part of his unique personality, I guess. As Taylor puts it, they won't cancel for rain or lightning. I would agree. Like, we've had some insane storms. One year I was overdue by 8 hours, and they started to search for me. They started to send people to books to check and see if I had taken the page out, to narrow down where on the course I would be. And that is kind of the bumpers that they would do. If someone's overdue, they would go to they would probably cut the course, get people to check different books and start to consolidate where on course they might be. Someone's asking, Harvey, is that Harvey Lewis? Yes. I would have expected Harvey to be in that first group. I don't know that he was. It didn't look like it. So I'm not sure what the strategy was, if he could keep up, or sometimes you can get tangled up or take a bathroom break and all of a sudden they're gone. Just like that. It happens that quick, especially with people that are experienced. Are the locations of the books the same compared to previous years or completely different? I would say yes and yes. Sometimes the same, sometimes different. Is this going to be live for 60 hours? No, I'm not going to stay live. I have other stuff to do, but I am going to go live at these key moments. So, whenever there's some interesting piece of information, I'm going to try and go live and cover it. So yeah, be sure subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn your notifications on so you can be notified when I go live. I'm going to try and, be on here for maybe an hour at a time. Seems like there's various Facebook groups that are kind of formulating up. I guess I'll search for that one. They're saying that there is a one from Mary Jean. Geertz. Oops. Mary Jean at the Yellow Gate. Oh, yeah. Mary Jean at the Yellow Gate. Here we go. These were from earlier this morning, maybe. Okay, there's some new images here. It looks like here is before the start. So you can see some of the different packs. It looks like a couple Solomon packs there, which is what I wear. You got Frozen Ed here in the foreground. You got Laz there in the background. Here is a picture of a lot of the starting crew. There's Laz. And there was some more good ones here. Here's a picture of Guillaume and Harvey. So Harvey's got the beard, the blue shirt, the beanie cap in this photo. There's Carl Saab looking pretty serious there in this particular moment. Courtney. These are funny photos. Okay. There's the cigarette. All right. Very cool. We had someone earlier compiled this kind of cool list, just taken from like past public information about the race. This is kind of like, I would say, the timing system for this year for the live results. This is crowdsourced. They've crowdsourced this entry list, so they still don't have a full starting list. This is from @taka_does_stuff, and he is doing God's work here, trying to come up with some great information. So you can see there's kind of an entry list that they've put together from different photos of the start line. Oh goodness, here we got Rob Youngren, shout out. Now his 6th attempt. You've also got Remy, or his 5th attempt. Man, overall, there's not a ton of experience here. The most experienced, from the looks of it, besides David Hughes and Ed Furtaugh, who will be near the back of the pack. David Hughes actually started 40 minutes late. He was reportedly sitting in a chair and all of a sudden got up and started the race 40 minutes late. So the most experienced people, you got John Kelly, you got Remy Jagard from France, and you've got Rob Youngren, who, by the way, has not run the race, I think, since I started running the race. So that's probably not going to be super helpful. But you do have quite a few that have a couple. They previously were virgins. Paul Giblin, Greg Hamilton, Chris Hanlon. You got Isabel Ross. You've got Courtney DeWalter. You've got Carl Saab. Not a lot of combined loops here. A lot of virgins. Guillaume Calmette with his 3rd attempt. Same with Tomo, 3rd attempt. So they've got a pretty good handle on things. But as we saw, Guillaume was by himself, so that's not going to help a lot of these folks. So hopefully the rest of these guys can band together. But I think that front pack, that's pretty exciting stuff. You got Courtney, you got Carl, you got John Kelly, you got a couple others. Let's hope they can. The longer they stick together, I think the better shot they have. Shout out to the lone Australian, Isabel Ross. I'm trying to answer some of your questions here. Mark Gross was asking something. Jamil had authorization. Maybe you're talking about authorization to film at the race before. So there was the one year that I made a film about, like, with footage on course. That was a really unique circumstance. HBO was there that year, and Laz asked for volunteers for runners to carry GoPro during the race, and he graciously allowed me to utilize that footage to make a video and post it. But that has since been eliminated, that option, so you can no longer carry GoPros on course or any sort of footage like that. Okay, so Youngren threw his back out and is not out there. We have an update here, so maybe they got that from a start list or something. I'll go back over to Twitter here, see if there's any more updates to the Keith's latest tweets. Looks like not a lot there. I'll go back to Keith over here. Cool. So let's see what else is going on here in the chat room. Thank you guys all for tuning in and checking this out. Just saw this is back up. That timer looks mighty fine. Thanks for taking the time to do this. Yeah, you bet. We midstream from our initial stream this morning, we were able to create this Barkley timer. So we are 6 hours and 45 minutes into the race. I decided to go live again about an hour ago once I saw that there were some reports of people at the fire tower. So again, I'm just like all of you. I don't have any insider knowledge really, other than what is kind of coming across through social media. So we'll try and filter that here and share it as we see it, provide a little color commentary, bring some of these tweets to life, and just hang out. I love this race. I love Tennessee and Frozen Head State Park, and a bunch of friends out there running, and love the sport. So just happy to share the stoke with all of you guys. There's a lot of people asking about Rob Youngren. I'm not sure about that. Any good Frozen Ed stories? I mean, there's so many good Frozen Ed stories. I've known him for quite some time. I remember what was one thing he said when he was training for the Barkley, he would, on his porch, he would fill a bucket with, I think, ice water. And he would like go out and he would like get his feet and shoes and everything completely soaked in this bucket. And then he would go start his training run, and he would like circle back and re-soak them just to like get used to running with soaking wet, cold feet, which I think was pretty funny. And there are some stout athletes here. Running this race. So here's a shout out to Paul Giblin, his third attempt here. He did the end-to-end trail in the UK last year, 1,200 miles, combining the Southwest Coast Path, the Pennon Way, West Highland Way, and the Cape Wrath Trail. That is intense. And of course, like Carl Saab, who made it to Loop 4 in 2019. He won the Big's Backyard World Championship. He did the Via Alpina, which is the entire Alps trail last year, like with ungodly amounts of vert every day. I think he was doing like 16,000 or more feet of vert on average every day for like 50 days in a row. So pretty crazy. Jasmine Paris, first time doing the Barkley. Yep. Evening, morning, afternoon, ultra runners. Great to have this live feed up. Great job. Yep. So I think, even though there's like a lot of you here and this is fun hanging out, I think I need to take a short break. And come back when we have some folks. Sorry, that was like mid-thought right there. Let's pull up the weather one last time before we end this one. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So let's see. We got most of Tennessee here. You got Knoxville over on the right. We got Wartburg kind of in the middle. Let's hit play. So you've got the beginnings of some weather activity coming in. We got Wartburg right at the upper right-hand corner of your screen there is basically Frozen Head State Park. And you can see that there are the beginnings of some weather activity moving in, rolling to the south near Chattanooga. And you can see right at the end there on the left side of the screen, you'll see some major weather patterns moving through. Right there, coming on up, coming on in. So here we go. Keith officially tweeting out. First group through the tower includes John Kelly, Courtney DeWalter, Carl Saab. So we were able to get that info a little bit quicker, but they, of course, have very limited cell reception there at the campground itself. All right, well, I think that I'm going to end this stream and look to come back in about an hour and a half to 2 hours when we should hopefully see the first runners coming through the completion of Loop 1, and hopefully try and stay live for a fair bit of time as we see people continuing. We should have some more updates potentially from the fire tower area. And then, of course, Loop 1 is where we'll get a majority of our updates. And there's a chance we'll see maybe some images from Howie Stern from up on the fire tower being posted a little bit later once they kind of hike back to camp, which is not an easy feat. It probably takes well over an hour each way. It's about 4 miles to get up there from the camp area. So that's kind of all the updates we have for now. But thank you guys, and we will see you soon. Be sure to subscribe and put the notifications on for the channel, and we will see you then.